All right, and sorry about that wait, everybody. Technical issues again. Every time something else happening. This time a poor cat attacked the computer of our streamer. But you know what? There's stranger things that have happened. Is a
Stranger
small
Things.
cat, get out of here, right?
Get out of here,
Is
small cat. What are you doing?
What are you doing, small cat? What are you doing? KLG actually, they lost their lead. They picked up first blood, and then we had to take a short break. And we saw a little bit of a replay here where Fix was able to get 2 kills. But look at Kiri on this mid lane, Ari 4-0-1.
Yeah, and that's if we go back. We can't go back to the replay here, but talking about that is
True.
they set up this very nice play in the bot lane. One thing we've talked about a ton of is the picks that Rebirth can set up with their composition, but also the massive advantage in global ultimates that they have available to them in the Tahm Kench and the Shen, and they're able to set up huge numbers of advantages, as well as the additional roaming ability of Kiri as opposed to the immobile Orianna. It allowed them to get 5 into the bot lane, 5v4, set up a huge play, and that what got them back into this game. They have the tier 1 in the bot lane down. They have the tier 1 in the top lane down as well. So the game is pretty even right now. They're up about 500 gold. The Windrake's still available. No one has taken it, as we are getting a bit of a resync going here. Can you hear me, Sir Buttkick?
I can hear you, but my YouTube stream just crashed.
Same. I believe there might be some technical issues on the side of CLS now.
All right, this one's not us.
It's not on us. It's not on us.
There you go. You can play with your cat for a bit. We'll just hang out. You know, just wait. We should have like talking points so we can just bring up a random conversation in between action happening. Have you
seen the stream team?
Yes, I have, of course.
You saw their game?
Yeah. Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah, it was great.
I made mention of that last night in the Diamond League because they played, I forgot which team exactly it was, but they played Xayah Blitzcrank bot lane, and I was like, somebody's been watching Echo Fox Challenger.
Delta Fox.
Delta Fox, true. Or Echo Fox Academy will be the name once LCS changes. That's some crazy rules happening right there. Are you a fan of that? The move to Academy teams for every professional team?
I like it in the fact that because they've decided to go with franchising, that there's not going to be an opportunity for challenger teams to really exist. There's going to be no incentive for them to keep the challenger teams going because they're not going to make any money because there's no way to get into the LCS. And so like every LCS team having a farm team or a developmental team seems like the ideal way to go about handling the challenger series from here on out. Well, it's going to be unfortunate to see like the gauntlet of trying to get into the Challenger Series from the Challenger Series into the LCS is going to be gone. But there's a lot more money to be made in franchising, and anything that brings some money into the esports scene, brings some money into League of Legends to allow them to grow. I'm a fan of. So everything going well there. As we are, I'm on pause now.
Oh, I am too. Oh
right.
no! It's touchy for me.
Hey, are you at 20:02 right now?
I am 20:03. There we go. Okay.
And mine is pausing again.
Oh boy. Oh, mine just hit it.
I'm at 20:08.
Same. Well, I'm 2012 right now.
2012.
Great movie. Fantastic film. Did not come true. Did not come true, actually.
Didn't come true, actually.
Wait, Nicolas Cage was not in that movie.
2012?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking Day After Tomorrow. Same
Wait,
premise,
he was in that
world
movie?
ending.
No,
Yeah.
that was Mel Gibson, right?
No, he was in Day After Tomorrow. He was.
Really? Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, he was the father of Andrew Garfield.
Oh, okay. Well, low-key, I'm a huge Nicolas Cage fan, so
Yeah.
I gotta go watch that movie now.
He's the one true god.
Yeah, have you ever seen Ghost Rider 2? It's my favorite of the Ghost Riders.
I've only seen the first.
Wait, that Ari just got a crit off of an auto attack.
I'm pretty sure that Geary has a 1% crit chance.
That is fantastic. I love it.
That's great. All right, we are actually in a game right now. I think we should stop memeing.
Should we refocus?
I think
Let's
we might
refocus.
need to recenter ourselves here.
Okay, well, KLG is hard defeating. Not hard defeating. They did lose their lead significantly though, giving up first dragon. They're now 1,000 gold behind, and Kiri is just so strong. Gonna be getting this third turret soon.
Yeah, tier one in mid lane's gonna fall soon. They can't be overly aggressive right now, as they are trying to set up some type of a play onto anyone who tries to walk into that turret with minions not available to them. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with KLG. I think their shot caller's calling for the int right now, and it's not working out for them.
He's calling for the everybody run it down mid. I don't know, or just fan out, try to defend every wave,
As we
which
are
is
seeing the
not
pick
working.
here in the bot lane, the Tom Kench ultimate not going to be able to find anything as the Cocoon misses. Kiri's in the mid lane as well as the Bear starting to rotate over to bot. They have a minion wave available to them. Ended up just getting killed by the Nautilus. So no tower tier. Oh, I am play by playing right now.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, you do you, man. You want to swap roles halfway?
Swap roles halfway through the
every
game.
22 minutes, let's just
Oh,
swap.
God. This pause here. The cat jumping on my power button has got me all twisted right now. Sir Butt Kick.
It's, you know what? That's life. That's just, you gotta be able to roll with the punches, man. Roll with the punches. As here, some punches happening topside. Explosive gas misses from Tierwolf, but Kiri is cut out of position. Spirit Rush still there. Stand United coming in from the shed, but Tierwolf actually goes forward. He's now caught out from the team, but everybody else is joining him. Fitz is the next target. He's trying to get onto Fix, and he just cannot get that damage. That early game Shen auto attack is just not there anymore. In the meantime, though, RBT making a good decision, just pressuring mid.
Yeah, the rotation is coming there from KLG right now, though. If they're not careful, they're going to end up getting caught near this tower.
There's the ultimate coming in from Nautilus. Not actually able to pick anything up for it. Monteraya can't make the Q land. Tierwolf in on the side. Codpiece here so far forward. Still had flash available, though, so it does get out of a tricky situation.
Yeah, it was a nice play there by Rebirth rather to keep themselves alive off of that, but they were in a really aggressive position. I really don't like the play from Fitz there. He uses the Stand United onto Kiri's. We are seeing a body slam forward here from Tierwolf. He uses the Stand United onto Kiri, and he didn't protect his RE. Instead, he tried to dive the Xayah, who had her summoners available to him, and he wasn't able to get anything for it. And
well,
so,
technically, he protected Ari. Kiri got out.
Kiri got out, but you could have turned onto the Gragas rather than just jumping onto Fix, who had 3 other teammates available to help heal for her as well as her flash and heal.
True. Very true. We're seeing a lot of synergy here from the side of RBT. 8 kills, and look at the kill participation across the map. Top, jungle, and mid all have 6 of those 8, and bot side has 5. So they're definitely not just getting picks in solo lanes, they're getting picks by rotating around the map as a team, and that's what I really like to see out of teams when they do go for this kind of pick composition.
Yeah, you can't be complacent and just having the jungler rotate up to top lane, then rotate down the mid lane, and trying to get picks that way. It's just not going to work, and even if you do get a couple of picks, you're not going to get objectives off of those type of plays. So it's really nice to see that Rebirth's able to make those plays, and it follows. It's what you would expect out of a Shen Tom Kench, is to be able to rotate around the map.
And Ari.
Those 2 globals. And an Ari, exactly. But, they're executing. So that's what you want to see out of this competition.
Oh, there's the pick landing onto Fix. RBT doesn't need any help. Kiri soloing the 80 carry from KLG. That's 1 member down now. Baron is up, but it's only 5 minutes old. Still fairly strong. A little scary at this point. I don't think RBT is actually going to force that. Instead, they're just going to push out some of these waves as Mantaraya is on the bot side.
So I do believe we did get a little desynced here. You're a smidgen ahead of me, so why don't you just pause for about a second, then unpause. And
Okay.
We'll be together again.
All right, I'm at 25-25 right now.
Perfect. I'm 25-25 right now.
Baron is started. Redemption comes down from Codpiece, trying to keep the team healthy, relevant in this Baron fight, but they do decide to back off as Montaraya answers with a teleport, so KLG in a good position to actually counter-engage here, or rather engage onto the Baron. Fix finally up, going topside. She's going to push out more waves, and no action happening.
So the Shen has Stand United and has teleport available to him. He has massive pressure in this bot lane, but the bot lane's pushing very, very hard right now. So KLG going to use this time to reset up Baron Vision. Rebirth need to try to establish vision and control once again in that Baron pit. Then they can use this massive summoner disadvantage, or summoner advantage in their favor, to end up picking up a Baron or forcing a bad fight out of KLG, who are trying to rush a Baron because they can't deal with Shen.
Yeah, Stand United being such a good ultimate, but only if used at the right time. It can be used defensively, but what I want to see is it used offensively. I want to see Kiri being able to go around to the backside here. He found it. There is the Stand United. Shen is being teleported on to the enemy team, but Kiri is taking a lot of damage, forced the Spirit Rush over the wall, but they are able to pick her up regardless. And here the fight is just being cleaned up by KLG, but they do lose a member for it. I thought that they were actually going to have an easy fight there once they took Kiri out of the equation. But look, Sora still does damage. Dominic still does damage. And this is what KLG is missing. They only have 2 damage dealers. Even if they take Kiri out of the equation, they still got to be afraid of RBT right now.
I don't know what Kiri was doing on the backside of that play. I don't know why Kiri was by himself there, trying to find a solo play, especially because she caught on the ward. 4-man collapse on her, but the play ended up being even for Rebirth, as Kiri was able to keep that play going for long enough to allow her team to be able to kite back onto the Nautilus to end up picking him up. The Varus starting to come online in terms of his damage. Did most of the damage there. Actually, rather than pick up the Gragas. Either way, though, they ended up trading 1-for-1. They take the jungler out of Rebirth, or out of KLG, so that even though they had slightly lower health bars, KLG wasn't going to rush the Baron anymore because they didn't have a jungler. So it was a nice play.
Yeah, and what is the next play? That's what I always like to think of. Yes, maybe it didn't quite work the way you wanted it to, but what are you going to do next? How do you set up next initiation? Because you mentioned you didn't know what Kiri was doing on that backside. I was of the mindset of, if Kiri is in that position and KLG isn't grouped so tight, that's a fantastic play. You're able to land a charm on a Fix, who's on the back line, or at least thinking he's on the back line,
I agree
and then
with you
able
if
to
they're not
delete him.
grouped, but you had no vision of them to tell you that they were or were not, and just making that play is very risky.
Yep, very true. So I think Kiri, not necessarily a situation where he needs to rethink his whole life, his whole choices, all of his choices, but definitely maybe rethink when to go for that kind of play.
Yeah, if I did come out too harsh there, I do apologize. I wasn't trying to dog on Kiri too hard.
I
think the intention there is right.
Silver plays.
Silver plays. I think getting Ahri onto the backside somehow, because we talked about it earlier, you need to be able to pick the carries of KLG. So trying to get on the backside to find Plugo or Flex is the right play. But, you know, it was a little bit, she was very far from her teammates. It's even though she is fed, you need to be able to protect your bounty also at the same time. And you know, you can't do enough damage through this front line right now if they do collapse on you. So being a little bit smart about those plays, setting up maybe a little bit more vision to be able to tell you where they are, and then making a play like that is where you want to see this composition go.
Oh, here's an initiation onto Sora. An easy cleanup with a double CC combo coming in from Gragas, body slam into explosive cast, and Fix is all the damage that they needed.
Yeah, so one of the huge damage threats for Rebirth, specifically their primary physical damage threat, their only real physical damage threat available to them, is down right now. This is going to allow KLG to set up more vision control, maybe make a Baron play now that the global global abilities are even there for the top laners. Montaraya's teleport has just come back up. The Shen has Stand United. Stand United's a bit better in the global trade in terms of, you know, sort of cooldown and its better ability to use, but they're going to be able to at least respond with the Nautilus, so keeping him in the side lane right now against the Shen is perfectly viable, and they're going to be use that time to set up the vision. You see those pinks around the Baron pit right now, so KLG does have advantage in terms of the Baron. I catch on to Ahri.
Oh, an immediate deletion coming in from the combo of Slow and Plugo, and this time it was actually dropping the orb onto the Thresh. Not often that you actually see that kind of play, the Thresh delivery system, but keep in mind his death sentence, if it lands, Thresh can deliver that orb over to them. Baron immediately started from KLG. They might just get this.
And the Baron is getting fairly low right now, about 50% HP. The Elise can use the execute into her advantage, but gets popped immediately.
Oh!
They recognize it.
KLG, that was a beautiful play there. Beautiful recognition, knowing exactly where Elise was because of all those wards that they placed down. Exactly how you were saying earlier, get vision around Baron, get a pick, and then take the Baron. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah, right. And in these past few minutes here, KLG have done a nice job to stop the pick composition of Rebirth. They've been setting up good enough vision on their own side of the map, They thwarted the flank of Curie that allowed them to get a bit further vision line. They get the pick onto Varus to get a little bit further vision line. They take an easy Baron off that pick, and they get another one onto the Elise. And right now, Rebirth just trying to defend their base.
And Baron minions pushing topside with Tierwolf actually going towards a mid. He's jumping over the wall. He's there. And what is happening with the YouTube stream? We're back into the fight. Here we go. Redemption coming down for both teams, keeping everybody's fairly healthy. But there's a shockwave onto 2 members. Ari goes gold and doesn't actually go down, but blinking health bars on the side of RBT. Fix picking up the first kill of the fight. Can't believe it took that long, but it's answered immediately by Kiri. Turret will fall topside, though. KLG should be able to pick up this inhibitor fairly easily as well. They got to back off after this, though, and they do.
An unsung hero has been Plugo in this game. Been very, very quiet. They already got ahead. We've been talking a lot about Kiri, but sitting only at 1 death right now. And these shockwaves in these team fights have been very, very nice and been setting up these team fight victories for KLG. They were actually probably down in this team fight until you see a massive shockwave come through, a big taunt coming out from Shen earlier, and a bad engage from the Gragas. Here's that chain of corruption. It gets 3 locked into it initially. There comes the flash taunt. He gets onto the primary damage dealers of KLG, but a very nice shockwave is able to respond and ends up picking up the team fight win there. Already able to pick one up on the backside, but they lose the inhibitor after the fact. So really was Plugo's shockwave there, and he's been doing that consistently for the last 10 minutes or so, having these really great shockwaves in either picking a carry or setting up team fights. And looks like Omnic is forced to flash away from that slow there.
Yeah, I think that I might be a little desynced again. It kind of spazzed out on me. So if you just want to pause for about 2 seconds and then get back into it, I think we should be good. I'm at 33 immediately.
33 right now. All right, so I'm going to pause here for a few more seconds and pause at 33:10. I'll let the clock tick. 3, 2, 1.
I'm at 33:10. There we go.
Boom, there we go.
Okay, we're back. Hey, easy.
There's no technical issues that ever happen at
It's professionals, but Monterrey might not be. Getting caught out again. Look at the stat line. 4-3, but he buys time for the team. KLG is able to pick up that bottom turret. Codpiece taking a lot of damage. Redemption does keep him safe for now, but the Thresh hook misses, and another shockwave coming in huge. 2 damage dealers down. It's only Kira left on the side of RBT. If they can get this RBT might just lose the fight, lose the game right now. Tierwolf is able to pick it up. Super Minions pushing topside, but they already have Baron Minions on the bot. I think KLG can look to end.
Yeah, this is going to be an end here from KLG, so they're going to end up taking the series from Rebirth. I like to see that as Chaos Latin Gamers. I remember last split, they came in having placed second in the season before that, almost finished last year in the last season, so they're able to claim themselves out of the relegation tournament to keep themselves in the CLS. They're coming out looking strong right now. They end up 2-0 Rebirth here, who was a middle-of-the-pack team, so it looks like Chaos Latin Gamers have improved. It's nice to see. It was a great game out from them. They fell a little bit behind in the mid-game. Curie was popping off on that Ari, like we saw, but they weren't able to overcome the disadvantage that they had in team fights, and they didn't execute the composition properly in the late game. I thought that composition was was very difficult for them to execute, and they weren't able to do it.
Yeah, the difficulty being, how do you deal with that double front line of Gragas Nautilus? The answer, you don't. I mean, that Chains of Corruption was able to hit 4 members, I believe, actually, of KLG, and at the end of the day, they don't actually get anything for it. Even when Gragas did not have his explosive cast, they just can't win team fights because of the team composition drafted from KLG. And now keep in mind, I still was not a fan of KLG's draft, but it did work out for them, and congratulations. They do take the match 2-0, so no ties tonight. But maybe there will be a tie coming up later. We're going to take a break here as we get ready for the final game of the evening. There's final match, I guess, so 2 games.
Yeah, don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me. I I do right now. Don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. broken soul in a wonderland without angels. That is how I feel when the mirror shows me a stranger. Yeah. And I know they're just fragments of a world where your absence all I get to see. Take me back to the planet where you and I are still meant to be. 'Cause I'm incomplete when you ain't by my side, when you don't wake up next to me. Yeah, I'm incomplete. I need you here tonight to cover up these empty sheets. 'Cause I'm incomplete. Yeah, I'm incomplete. Hey, 'cause I'm incomplete. I need you here tonight to cover up these empty sheets. 'Cause I'm incomplete. Yeah, I'm incomplete. The crack of dawn, I imagine you waiting by my doorstep. But it won't be.
Night is cold, but your heart's colder. I will wait for you. The glitch in your eyes pulled me under, but I will wait for you. There's nothing left for me to do than run and act myself a fool. No point in trusting anyone. Your eyes of diamonds keep me up. Never thought that it could be this rough. No point in trusting anyone.
Night is cold, but your heart's colder. I will wait for you. The bitch in your eyes pulled me under, but I will wait for you.
There's nothing left for me to do than run and act myself a fool. No point in trusting anyone. Your eyes of diamonds keep me up. Never thought that it could be this rough. No point in trusting anyone.
All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our third matchup of the night between Isrus Gaming and Furious Gaming. We're giving you the old switcheroo here. J4 switching over to play-by-play, and we have Sir Buttkick, your color. How you doing tonight, Sir Buttkick? You ready for this third match?
Doing fantastic, except we spent all that time resyncing, and I'm getting the loading screen on my video.
Perfect. Perfect. This
But
is
that
what
was a great
I'd love
intro.
to see here with
That
the
was a
viewers.
great intro regardless, so I didn't want to like interrupt it by any means.
All right. You're resyncing right now. We want me to just hit live and we'll try this again?
Let's just do that. There we go. I got live.
All right, hit
I'm
live.
on second
Zach locked in
pick.
first pick. So, all right, I'm locking it. I'm pausing 25 seconds for the second pick of Furious Gaming.
Okay, I'm at 28 seconds, and there we go.
All right. You pause? or
I'm
you
paused.
did-
I'm paused.
Okay,
I'm
all
paused.
right, I'm at 22 seconds, so repause again. At 22. I thought you said there we go. I'm like, okay,
All right,
I
I
guess
paused.
we're going.
I paused. Let's go.
All right, 22 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so
Hey,
there we go. Why don't you talk
pretend
about the
nothing happened.
lock-ins here, since you are our color caster now?
Okay, so we're seeing Zach got through picking bands, which is number one mistake of Furious Gaming. Keep in mind, this is supposed to be one of the most hyped up matches, potentially the two best teams going against each other. You don't want to see QQ more on something as powerful as Zach, but hey, at least they get the Elise and the Zaya for it.
He's, for once in his life, not playing Rengar. Zach
True.
is so broken that QQ Moore picked him over Rengar.
Very true. The Lucian, though, signals to me that they're going to be going for an earlier aggressive style. We've still seen supports in this region in particular shy away from going to Karma, going to Lulu. They were banned out this game by Furious Gaming, so this means that Isrus, it gives them the chance to go more aggressive. They don't have to pick up the Nami. I'm hoping they don't, actually. I want them to go for maybe a Rakan, go for a Bard, go for a playmaking support with this Lucian so that they can get him ahead.
And I really love that combo being locked in here as Shen gets locked in for Pride in the top lane. Zach Shen is a terrifying combo to end up. You slingshot a Shen into the lane, but there's the lock in. Fiora going into top lane for Ache, who is known for being very aggressive with his top laners, so it's no surprise for me to see this Fiora locked in.
Yeah, and this is what happens when you are Isrus Gaming and you pick up a top laner instead of a support. Typically, most people agree you go jungle and bot lane in the first 3 picks. You don't pick top and mid until after the second ban phase because it leaves your opponent to be able to counterpick. Furious Gaming pick up the counterpick Fiora into the Shen. She should just make mince meat of the Shen in lane, as well as being able to provide that split push pressure. But we're seeing some of those tankier supports banned out. Braum and Tahm Kench taken off the table.
Yeah, bro, Tahm Kench, I think probably the strongest support in the game right now if you aren't going for a poke lane with Lulu. But Shen's not the worst tank into Fiora. If you're picking a tank, there's definitely worse options like a Gragas. Even a Galio is pretty bad against a Fiora, so Shen's not the worst. He has that auto attack block with that Spirit's Refuge, so he's not terrible, but he does end up losing that matchup around level 6. He actually can win the matchup. I say this every single day I cast a Shen. He can win that matchup levels 1 through 3 because he does crazy damage early on, but most likely Ache gonna be looking to split push hard on that Shen. He does shut down what Shen wants to do because Shen can't stay in a long lane against a Fiora come late game. So in that sense, it is a very strong counter pick, and they're the last bans there.
I just want to say how excited I am. The 4 most played supports are all banned out. Lulu, Karma, Thresh, Tahm. Even Braum is banned out. No, don't do it, Furious. You're better than that. They lock in the Nami. Okay, so they still go for a boring support, but maybe Isrus picks up something spicy.
Bard available. That's where I expect this Bard or this lock-in going to be going for. Zyra, Malzahar not really great anymore. Although Zyra's not too bad in this meta. Nami going to be able to heal up her poke though fairly well. Doran's shield is very strong against Zyra, who her plants repeatedly attack, don't do much damage on each attack. Jhin going to be locked in, so that's a Lucian mid.
It could be a more safe bot lane now because Jhin doesn't need a crazy aggressive support. Lucian mid being played. Blind though. Furious Gaming were wise to pick their support instead of their mid lane. because now they're going to be able to counterpick this Lucian. They know that it is going mid. I think Furious Gaming was sniffing it out. They were like, all right, we don't know if it's AD carry, but we do know what their support is. Now it is going to be that Zyra.
Perfect lock-in for this composition. You have the Jhin and the Zyra, tons of range. You're going to be safe there in the bot lane as long as you keep that range against the Elise ganks. They were lacking in magic damage, so picking up that Zyra is perfect. I was about to comment on how you needed to make sure the Shen was going to be good in the early game so he could be tanky enough to sit on those carries to do that magic damage on his Q auto attacks. But he's going to be all right. You don't really need to focus the top lane anymore because you have that Zyra does so much damage once he picks up Leandri's Torment. Talia going to be locked in, though, for Yuri.
Yeah, I like this pick into the Lucian. A lot of people saying, what counters Lucian mid? Something with wave clear. Might not counter, but at least you're a little safer. Talia can push waves with ease and then just kind of stay back, not get too far forward, because a Zac Lucian is a very scary lane to be against when you are this immobile mid laner. Taking the barrier, this signifies to me that Uri is trying to just stay alive, farm up, and not get too aggressive, because he understands if he gives kills to Lucian, the game's already over.
Yeah, and all they really need, they have a lot of scaling on the side of Isurus Gaming here, or rather Furious Gaming here with the Talia, Talia, however you want to say it, and the Fiora there in the top lane. As we are seeing the matchup to watch for their caster is going to be Ache versus Pride in the top lane. I believe Pride is the new member of Isurus Gaming this split. So Pride coming in, he's the new member. He's been playing great this season, has the KDA of 6.4. Ache, though, historically known as a very aggressive top laner, so he's going to push Pride to his limits. We'll see if he's going to be able to handle that.
Yeah, and if you're definitely a champion that you can be aggressive with, you can pressure the enemy top laner, but as you mentioned, at least Shen doesn't have a purely one-sided matchup against a Fiora. There are tools in his Batman utility belt, as it were, that can keep him alive, keep him safe, relative into the early stages of the game, post level 3, when he's no longer able to kind of duel with the Fiora. But the question being, can they answer the split push? Shen also good at that. Fiora, if she's in a lane pushing the wave, you have Shen there. Stand United is faster than a teleport, so if a team fight breaks out elsewhere on the map, Shen can enter that faster than Fiora could with the teleport. So I do like the composition that Isurus was able to get here, and I'm going to give it to them in terms of just the amount of tools they have at their disposal. The only question being, where's their AP damage? They have a Zyra bot lane, but is that going to be enough?
They have a Zac, so there's your AP damage.
True.
Yeah,
Health damage, technically,
yeah.
but
Zach
it does
a
AP.
lot of damage if he's able to land on those carries. The difficulty for him is going to be landing on those carries against the Nami, against the Featherstorm of this Xayah, as well as Yuri, actually fairly safe against that Shen because of that massive range. Although Talias do like to go a bit ham and get right in the face of the other carries. So we'll see how that ends up folding over. But I'm going to agree with you. Isurus Gaming has that strong composition. They have a Zac. They have the Lucian mid. All meta right now. And I'm going to give this one in the draft to Isurus Gaming because I think Shen deals with the sort of the oddball of the Furious Gaming is that Fiora, right? She's the one who's you don't normally see. And I think Shen can deal with her decent enough. And so I'm going to give this to Isurus.
The reason we haven't been seeing Fiora so much is because it's been banned so much. A lot of teams in other regions have been banning it against enemy top laners because it is one of those champs where, I mean, maybe there's a 50-50 chance of shutting it down, but if you don't shut it down, you auto-lose. If you shut it down, she is still relevant. So I think that it's a really strong champion in that respect, that you have to get her behind. If she snowballs, the game is almost done, but even if she's behind, she can still be relevant.
Yeah, and she just shuts down tanks so hard. In a lot of compositions you're running right now, you're obviously going tanks in the top lane. Although tanks have been taking a bunch of hits recently, they're still what you want to go with if you can. Gragas is the only real tank jungler you have available to you. Although tank supports have been coming back in the meadows, we are seeing Kim here. On the top side of the map, Fiora pushing in the Shen, though, not likely to see a gank, but they could try to invade this blue buff, though. Zac has not taken it, and he's hovering over on that side of the map.
Yeah, jungle pathing's always interesting to look at when you're a aggressive clearer with early gank potential like the Elise. And then when you're something like the Zac that does clear fairly easily in the early stages of the game, but can't
There's
clear
the
as
slingshot.
fast.
He's in trouble now.
Yeah, Kinnem is here.
Yeah,
Does he go
Kingdom's here.
for it?
He's hovering on the blue buff. He knows it's fairly low right now. Could try to flash over the wall and take this. He's just going to walk around. And it gets smited away by Kukumor. The Cocoon misses. Kukumor going to try to fight the Elise here. She uses the Spiderlings against her right now. The Colossus Shield is procced down to Kukumor, slowing her up with Kim. EMP is rotating over. Pride on the other side of the wall. He stops the Blast Cone. A nice repel is going to get Kim to safety there. He's going to be able to flash away from EMP. So Kim pulling a trick out of his bag there and getting away.
But it does lose him a lot of time. It loses him a summoner spell, and he doesn't actually gain anything for it because he lost the smite battle. He had to win that action on the bot side, though.
Yeah, Tolls is forced to, he forces Pride's heal out of him as Tolls is getting fairly low. Nice play there by Kindless, avoiding the feathers right there, not getting stunned up on the recall from Zaya, and so he's able to force the heal out of them. They have a summoner advantage there in the bot lane now. We'll see if Zach wants to gank on that side. You know the top side is cleared for this blobby monster. We'll see if he tries to rotate over after this.
He's going towards the bottom lane. The days of you have to get bot turret first and then rotate around the map are kind of over, but it still is a very strong option. If you can get your bot lane ahead, they take that first turret, they rotate top, or maybe get first turret and then first dragon as well. That's the ideal situation. You rotate top and just keep pressuring turrets. Again, it's not the end-all be-all that it used to be about 2 patches ago, but teams still are prioritizing getting their AD carries ahead just because of how significant this position has become in the recent patches.
I would say I agree with you. Outside of the only AD carry that it's still just get that bot lane rotating over is Caitlyn right now. Caitlyn is just an absolute beast at taking turrets. And then if you're playing with a Caitlyn, she's permaban right now, but if you're playing with Caitlyn, you just try to get her ahead so she can rotate over, start sieging everything else in the entire game. Because that champion is fun and balanced for the whole family.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's an issue at all with Caitlyn. Everybody's completely happy with her state in the meta. But who isn't happy right now is Emp in the mid lane. He's getting aggressive onto Yuri, but still controlling the wave.
Yeah, Yuri doing a very nice job in this matchup. I'm not particularly versed on how this matchup goes, but I imagine it would be heavily Lucian favored because Zaya, not the strongest in the early game. He does need a little bit of damage under her belt to be able to start dealing with this Lucian, I would imagine. But she's able to do it right here, and maybe looking to try to make a play on the Lucian.
Well, the secret to this matchup, again, for Taliyah is wave clear, wave clear, wave clear. You don't fight the Lucian because you're going to lose it 9 times out of 10. All you want to do is just farm up, and you're going to have a bigger impact around objectives and in the late game. As you see, look at Yuri's positioning. He's not contesting this wave at all. He's letting the turret damage it so that he can get the last hit and hopefully pick up some of the CS. But this does mean that Emp will get damage on this mid turret.
If Fiora's able to hit level 6 here, and she just did, the Shen back's really far off. I was about to say the Fiora could have killed that Shen. Spirit Refuge was down, and the Fiora would have her ultimate available to her, but playing this one smartly is Pride. He's going to back off from that. Here in the mid lane, we have the Zac hovering around. He is level 5 right now, so he has the 3rd rank in his E. He's going to be able to slingshot a ton of distance. This is what lane he wants to gank. Ideally, is this mid lane so good at repeat ganking mid lane is Zac. It's one of the reasons why Zac's so strong right now. He's able to repeat gank over and over the mid lanes. We are seeing an engage here in the mid lane. There comes the calling, the ignites on heal you. So Yuri ended up taking heal in the mid lane. Didn't comment on that one, but he's able to survive with that heal. Going to force both the summers out from both players.
And that is exactly why, as a Taliyah into the Lucian, you just can't let him get close to you. You already got a little greedy, trying to get some extra CS there, push out the wave a little further, but here more action around the blue buff.
Yeah, Kim and QQ Moore trying to fight for this blue buff right now, but the rotation over from Isurus Gaming's bot lane is going to secure that for QQ Moore, and he's going to be able to walk in. Here we have an engage here in the top lane. Pride's still winning this matchup, so he's playing these trades correctly for the most part. You would have to at this point. I think Fiora does. This is really when the 1v1 starts going to Fiora's favor. And so he's still ahead in this matchup, though, playing that out well out in the top lane. But Fiora did go for a very scaling build. She has Thorn Shield. She has Call. Not really looking to fight. I think if she went for a more aggressive build, that top lane would look a little bit different.
Yeah, I keep bringing it back to mid lane because I think that's where a lot of the strategic play is coming in here from the side of Furious Gaming. You already had a ward down. He saw QQ more there, But the bigger thing that reveals is where the jungler is. It allows top lane Achi to play a little more aggressive because he knows that Zac isn't around. It also allows his bot lane to play more aggressive. But what's interesting is that we don't see that aggressive play coming out from any members of Furious Gaming. We see a roam here from Tolls towards the mid side.
Yeah, Tull's going to look for EMP. They're not in bubble range, though. EMP very, very low. Yuri sitting at full health right now, so EMP going to need a little bit of assistance. Or Zyra going to be rotating over to help him out, and he'll be all right. He'll be able to clear this wave and likely back as Zyra absorbs the XP in mid lane.
And honestly, that's a play that could have gone really well for Furious Gaming if they had committed to it. Tolls had flash available. If he was confident in his Nami mechanics, he could have flashed, gone for the bubble, because we knew that M's flash was down earlier when he went all in on Yuri. If Yuri had kind of communicated that to his support, it had been able to make the play. So I don't know if that was Yuri saying, I don't trust my support's mechanics, or just not letting him know that flash wasn't there for Lucian.
As we are panning down to the spot lane, CS is fairly even there as Xayah absorbs that wave, crashing into tower. You're looking if you're looking at this early game right now, both these compositions we don't normally see. We have a Lucian in the bot lane, Lucian in the mid lane, Jhin down in the bot lane, as well as that Zyra and Zac, which we never really see anymore. How's it with how the early game's going? Who do you favor in terms of these compositions?
I still favor Easterus. I think that even though, as you were saying, they don't have a meta pick, I kind of disagree. I think that Zac is absolutely in the meta.
Zac's absolutely
the only reason
meta. We just don't see it here, so I'm trying to
Okay.
Most viewers aren't going to know where's Zac's power spikes. What are we looking for in terms of Zac? Is he going to scale into a monster in the late game? Because he's just not played he's not played because he's always banned.
Well, the thing about Zac is that he has decent enough clear in the mid game or in the early game that he doesn't get purely bullied out by an aggressive jungler like Elise or like Elise and would. In the mid game, once he has an item or two, he also is a really good long range initiation. He has strong early ganks, but the biggest thing about him is those late game team fights. That new ultimate, Let's Bounce. I think it has a name change now. Basically just. Okay, it is still Let's Bounce. He's able to jump in onto the Fiora, onto the Talia, and it's less of trying to land 5 members and bringing them into your team. That can work, but really where he shines is just grabbing one. If he's able to grab one squishy target and bring it towards his team, they delete that target, and then they make a play around the map, and that is why Zac is so strong at the moment. It's just the crazy utility in his kit. He has 3 CCs, as well as just ridiculous sustain in the jungle, so he's very... He's just very
in the
consistent.
mid lane. He's gonna miss the elastic slingshot. He does not use the tower though for the slam, but down he goes. First blood over to this Lucian. He's gonna be able to walk away from this, pick up a couple of blocks. That turret shot not gonna be taking him down. So very nice rotation there. And we talked about that before the game started. The elastic slingshot with the Stand United combination.
And Curtain Call was used on the bot side during that as well. Kindness was not able to get the kill onto Prati, though. And Prati didn't even burn a single summoner spell. I think he was just able to kind of sidestep a lot of that damage. First turret falls, though, and this is really bad for Furious Gaming. Easterus have a huge lead in their favor right now. Not necessarily just in terms of gold, but getting first turret in the mid lane really opens up the map for Kyukimor to just continue abusing these side lanes.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I would like to note there on that that gank from the Zac, a fun fact is Zac can slam opponents into turrets if he autos the turret after he Qs the opponent. So a little bit of a misplay there from QQ but they still end up picking up the kill. As we are seeing a rotation over here towards the Dragon from Furious Gaming. Is that Mountain Drink that's going to be available to both these teams as Newbie here tries to clear the mid lane. So first turret blood going over to EMP and first blood. And that's going to get that Lucian spiraling.
A little bit out of control. I know what you're trying to say. Has Berserker's Greaves with Bilgewater, the recurve ball. That's going to be a Blade of the Ruined King. Typically an item that's very strong against tanks, but it's also decent against all kinds of members. Fight on the bot side, though.
Here comes Zac. There's the Q on the stretching straight onto Tully. He slams them together. The Stranglethorns from Zyra. Down go Elise and Nami. The taunt lands onto Pride there. Pride trying to kite him up the lane. EMP is there as well. Here comes the culling. Pradi is just trying to live as long as possible. He will end up falling though. Isers Gaming picking up 3 kills on the bot side. Going to get that bot lane turret as well as Dragon, trading it for the top lane. So Ache electing to stay up there on the top side. Going to get the turret. At least it's something. But Isers Gaming opening up the game.
And this was Furious Gaming being so confident. They thought that they had Emp on the bot side. He was caught out. 4 members committed to that play, and somehow Isers turned it around. Pride didn't even use Stand United, but was just in the area because of teleport. Keep in mind, Shen basically has 2 teleports. He's always going to be able to make a play around the map. Kindless and Newbie were there. QQ Moore bought so much time as well with that Elastic Slingshot. Isers Gaming turned a gank into essentially a counter gank. Look at this rotation. QQ Moore is so far away. The bot lane is so far away, but somehow Emp survives all of this. QQ Moore binds so much time. The tidal wave goes wide, and Flash is burned by Isers, but it's so worth it for how much they get for it. And the teleport from Pride as well catches out Pradi, so he can't even get away, and it's an easy pickup for Isers. All 5 members bot. Yeah, Achi didn't burn teleport because he didn't think he needed to. He thought that his team had the play bot side, and they probably told him, nope, stay top, we don't need teleport, and then by the time they needed it, it was too late.
Ache did pick up the Rift Herald buff there, so he has that available to him. His flash is down, though, on the backside of that play. Pride ended up chasing Ache down the lane after he took that tower, so he burns the flash from Ache. And it looks like they're trying to rotate over to this top side with the Shen and the Zyra. They're going to try to take this top lane turret. The Rift Herald is available to the Fiora, so shoving it down the lane she's in and making sure she can't use that onto a turret is what you want to do for now.
And remember back around the Worlds time, so 6th season Worlds, it was all Varus Jhin every single game.
Yes.
Well, we're kind of seeing a resurgence of that here. Oddly enough, Kindless building Youmuu's Ghostblade first on this champion. It used to be just broken because of how strong lethality was, but in recent patches, people haven't really been favoring the item as much. But it's definitely a unique build path on the Jhin right now. I'm curious to see what he's able to do with it, because a lot of AD carries have been saying, outspoken and saying that it's just not a good item anymore.
Well, the Youmuu's Ghostblade, it still does have you still were building it after the small lethality nerf, the total lethality on the Youmuu's Ghostblade. It wasn't until they ended up changing lethality once again, nerfing it, as we are seeing a gank at the top lane. Down goes Fiora. So Ache, he ends up falling there. He only has a little bit more time on that Rift Herald buff. He's going to need to get that out on the map. But
he already used it mid.
Oh, he already used it mid, so they did take the mid lane tower with the Rift Herald buff, so that's actually perfect usage of that Rift Herald buff. The best lane to use it in is that mid lane, because it's the shortest distance between the 2 turrets. It allows the Rift Herald to get more attacks on the turrets. It didn't end up reaching that tier 2, but they still end up taking that tier 1, so it was a nice job on the side of Furious Gaming to try to stay alive, keep treading water here.
Yeah, and itemization around the map is a little interesting on the side of Isers, but definitely working out for them. Shen, typically you want to be able to get that Tiamat just so you have extra wave clear. You can kind of match the Fiora push, but he opts for the full Sunfire. He gets Ninja Tabi. This is a Shen that not only wants to push waves, but wants to actually be able to survive Fiora if she runs him down, and maybe even fight her back, because Sunfire is a very strong item when it comes to those duels, as well as providing you all that health and armor stats. So I think the Easters, they're just really creative in how they're building their champs right now.
So one thing about Shen, and I've been pretty adamant about saying Shen being the best top laner minus Galio here on this patch. And the thing about Sunfire Cape and why I think it's an improvement on Shen is that it decreased the total damage it's doing to champions, which Shen doesn't get damage off of sitting on top of someone. His damage comes from his Q, but it gives additional wave clear, so he doesn't have to rush the Tiamat on this patch. And so I actually think the adaptation for Shen players in the near future you're going to see is more Sunfire rushes against AD matchups rather than Tiamat rushes.
Against AD matchups, yeah, but a fight here.
Yeah, we have a fight here as QQ Moore goes in. Kim takes the last shot of the curtain call, as we are seeing the fight up here. The top lane, Pride tried to hug the wall, and he's not going to get that final vital popped. So Pride going to survive to Ache, as we are seeing how in favor that matchup against the Fiora, or how in favor for the Fiora that matchup is at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's a really good play mechanically from Pride, not allowing Achi to get that final angle on the auto attack to get that extra vital point, but he does burn flash for it. He does get bullied out of lane. He is going to be able to pick up a lot of this farm. And back to that point you made about the wave clear, Tiamat is still better wave clear,
Still
but
better,
I do agree against an AD matchup. Bully like the Fiora, having the extra armor is really helpful, and now he's picking up the Tiamat, so this Shen is going to be able to push waves really fast.
Yeah, he'll be able to shove incredibly efficiently. The difficulty, of course, and we talked about why Fiora is so good against Shen right now. It's not the early game, even though we said Shen can survive the early game. It's Fiora just going to sit in the lane. If Shen teleports away, Fiora will just start taking towers. So
it's so hard to leave her alone in lane.
yeah, and so even though Shen can clear waves, he can use that to maybe clear efficiently under tower. It's not going to do a whole lot for him in terms of pushing down towers, which is why you want wave clear on Shen, because he's so slow at doing it.
Yeah, if you're able to push the wave far enough away from your turret that you can then make a teleport play and not worry about the Fiora pushing a turret, that is where you're in a comfortable position as the Shen. Furious Gaming might be setting up a death brush around Dragon. It's Infernal. Cocoon lands.
He's just going to get a little bit of poke damage as Zach slingshots in. Here's the Stand United. He ends up slamming Elise onto her own Spiderling, and down goes Kim. So the jungler is down for Furious Gaming. The Dragon going to be spawning here in a second. That means another Dragon here for Isurus Gaming. This one going to be that oh-so-coveted Infernal.
And this is just really a huge loss for Furious Gaming. Not only did they give up the Mountain Drake earlier, which is very good for taking future objectives, future turrets, but they're giving up the Infernal Drake. Like you said, a lot of analysts, casters, coaches, and players all consider Infernal Drake even higher priority than the Rift Herald. So even though Furious Gaming were able to pick that up earlier, Isurus feeling really good about just the scalability of their team now. Yeah, they got to deal with this Fiora split pushing like a monster, but hey, at least Fiora doesn't have the Mountain Drake, doesn't have the Infernal Drake to help take down those turrets. Isurus is the one that has that, and they're the ones that are going for the team fights anyway.
Yeah, and at this point, you have to ask yourself, as Furious Gaming, you don't have a real tank on your lineup. Of course, Fiora is a pseudo tank, but you don't have a real tank to deal with 280 carries, and now they have an Infernal Drake to go along with it. Can you stop this team in the late game, even with the Fiora damage?
Yeah, there's just no easy target to build tank. I think that if anything, Boots is the easiest. You just go for that Ninja Tabi. It shuts off so much damage from Jhin, as well as Lucian, as most of each of their damage comes from auto attacks. But we're only seeing that one member.
Not going to land on top of the Fiora, but here comes the Let's Bounce, and it sends the Elise back into the rest of the team. Flashes over the wall, though. Here comes the W. Gonna miss, but another slingshot in. He's going to be able to pick that up. Kyukyo is, and that's just showing the strength on the ability to chase as that Zac right now. And he's just going to heal up on that Raptor camp. Going to probably walk back in the lane full health. And the sustain from this Zac, absolutely incredible. Opting to go for the Locket first item. Just going to be trying to support his team with additional shielding, trying to keep his 80 carries alive. Is the name of the game for QQ.
And I don't like this itemization, actually. Yes, it makes sense he's doing it to keep those 80 carries alive, but you're against a Taliyah. This is something that you go for that adaptive helm. It stops almost all the damage that Taliyah outputs, as well as Xayah, because those feathers that she shoots out, the 3 burst, it is technically 3 hits of the same ability. So Adaptive Helm will shut down so much of that damage. That would be almost unkillable. So I think he's going for Locket, but if he had just gone Adaptive Helm right away, he would have had so much more survivability. But maybe this is him saying, look, I don't need to survive any longer because I already am. I'm already tanky enough. I just got to keep my Lucian and my Jhin alive. So there's a reason for it, but I still think Adaptive Helm might be better. We do have a pause, though. I'm not sure what is going on currently, as I do not speak Portuguese, but
this is in Latin American South.
Oh, this is
all regions
okay.
Besides Brazil, so it's Spanish.
Never mind then. Well, I still don't speak Spanish. It doesn't help, but okay.
Yeah. Neither do I. Don't speak Spanish either, so can't tell you what's going on here. But
we could try to guess.
We can try to guess. Yeah, let's play a guessing game here. I'm going to assume it was after the Elise ended up falling, so it might be a bug.
Could be, or she's trolling. Maybe Maybe just so upset, like, why did we let Zach through? It was such a mistake, and now they're paying the price. Again, that champion just so strong. I question any team that allows to make it through the ban phase in the first
I've
round.
seen teams allow the Zach to go through for Galio Caitlyn, and that is literally the only trade I would make for Zach. Is the best AD carry and the best top laner, and even then, the Zach won. So,
In most cases, yes.
yeah. So yeah, the game I watched, it was, I don't remember who it was. I think it was in the NALCS actually. It might have been one of the games that Zach only got through on, and they traded Caitlyn and Galio for it because they didn't end up getting banned, and they still lost the game.
I believe
Zach
that
just
was
dominated.
Envy versus something. I know Lyra was the one jungler to play Zach in the NALCS. So it
Yeah,
was
so
Envy versus somebody.
yeah, and these professionals play Zach so well, and you see the ridiculous win rate on Zach in solo queue, and you have to remember that tanks in general have really low win rates, especially in the top lane in solo queue, because your team isn't coordinated. You're not using their key CC abilities properly in order to set up these team fights. You put that CC on a professional player, and you see ridiculous win rates, and that's why he's permabanned right now.
Yeah, it's just we mentioned it earlier. At the like, his first gank bot side basically is when this first came up. Having three hard CCs in your kit, as well as one of them being a gap closer, one of them being able to carry enemy players into your own team, and one of them being able to hit two targets at once is just silly. As well as just he has such a consistent clear, stays healthy in the jungle, stays healthy in lane. He does more damage the tankier he gets. It's just
As someone
it's a
who's
silly
been
champion.
maining Zach top lane actually for over a year now, and have like nearly 500 games on him last season in ranked. I believe that they've actually broken Zach.
You're
His
one of those
kit,
guys.
yeah, they his kit is absolutely unbalanceable at this point because Zach is he has so much CC that he needs to do no damage, and if he does no damage, he doesn't have skirmishing ability, which means he can't jungle anymore.
Yeah, and it just means that he can't clear either.
Yeah.
It's a hard position for Riot to be in. I like the idea of the champ. I think that the way he is now is more cool and more fun than he was before, but I do question why.
Yeah, Zach. A lot of people say that Zach was in a decent spot. He wasn't. He wasn't broke because we are getting into game finally. He wasn't absolutely broken in terms of how strong he was. And here we see the engage there in the top lane. Ache has that blue buff, which is really important. It gives him cooldown, and it gives him ability to keep spamming his Q against Pride. But here comes the Zac. He ends up falling top of there. He can use the Blast Cone to slam her. Doesn't opt of doing that. Ache going to get the auto attack on there. QQ more end up getting very low. Pride as well. Down goes the Zac. Cell Division is pop right now. Pride ends up getting healed by Kindless. And Kindless trying to help out his tanks there in the top lane. Pride is so low. But Jin takes the kill. And so Ache forces a huge four-man rotation, but ends up falling. An incredible play there from Ache, but he's not quite able to pull it off.
And Ache trying to do the hero play. He was so close to getting QQ more, so close to getting Pride. But a good roam from Kindless is able to save his teammates. Emp as well helping out. And I thought that Ache had it as soon as Toll showed up. Nami had the sustain, had the CC, but unfortunately the tidal wave just didn't land in the way that they needed it to. I think that it could have been used a little better just to keep Jin off of the fight. I don't know if Nami needed to use it onto Zac, onto the Shen. Nami should have been focusing, get Jin away from us because Fiora can go for the 1v2. So minor mechanical misplay from Tolls, but I don't even know if he saw Jin coming, so I can't really discredit him there. And hindsight is always going to be 2020, so just really unfortunate for Furious Gaming right there.
Yeah, Jin also had flash available to him, so even if he did see the Jin coming, which I'm not sure he did in the first place, even if you use the tidal wave onto Jin and you don't hit Zac and Shen, you worry about the Zac and Shen because they can keep the Fiora locked down and not sustaining anymore because she's locked down, and so using the tidal wave on them to allow the Fiora to start, taking out the Shen is maybe the thought process behind that. Either way, though, Jin going to end up picking up that kill. It's still a very nice play from Ache. The rotation over from Isris Gaming was just a little bit better.
And this is the stage in the game where Furious Gaming, their focus isn't how do we win. Their focus is how do we get a kill. And then after that kill, how do we get an objective? Push a wave, get a jungle camp. And then after that, maybe say, how do we get another pick? How do we turn that into a turret? How do we turn that into a dragon? Small incremental advantages is what Furious Gaming has to go for, because they're just not in a position to win a team fight against a Zac and Shen combo in the team. They got to be looking for something small right now.
Yeah, one thing I will say there for Furious Gaming is that they've done a decent job picking up objectives despite being down 8 kills. They're only down 4K gold right now. Not the biggest disadvantage for them. You're sitting at 24 minutes in the game. Down 4K gold isn't the worst thing in the world. Ache's been doing a good job of putting pressure on the map.
Being down 4K gold, not the end of the world. Being down 2 dragons really hurts, especially when it's an infernal mountain. And that is the big crux here which is making Isra so far ahead.
He slams the support and AD carry of Furious Gaming together rather than mid laner, as Talia and Xayah look very similar actually in those skins.
Basically the same, right? Yeah. You know, they push waves. They shoot out things.
Yeah. But they actually look so similar in those skins right now.
Curtain call pulled.
As the curtain call comes out, Tull's getting fairly low. Uri going to be tanking up the last shot there, but down goes the tier 2 on the top side. And we saw actually Pride end up taking a big trade on Ache, taunting him under tower, and that's going to force the Fiora back to base. She's not going to be able to put pressure on this tier 2, which means they just trade the top lane tower for nothing.
And also just QQ landing that stretching strike onto Yuri, onto Tulls. He gets 2 flashes and a heal out of it. So Summoner Spell advantage now clearly in the favor of Isra's Gaming. Turret advantage, Dragon advantage, Gold advantage, all waves pushing. They have an optimal position to go either for this 3rd drag or try to get vision control around Baron. I'm a fan of the former. It's easier to pick up. It's another Mountain Drake. It'll only help them get this Baron, and they are going right to it. It's an easy pickup. And I am expecting to see them roam straight from here up to Baron, get some vision down, and try to do the Baron dance. Because with 2 mountains and an infernal, they clearly have an advantage.
Yeah, something to note here. Shen got sent to the bot side of the map, but Fiora is on the top side here, so they're gonna have to send the AD carry and the support over to go deal with her. But almost at this point, I feel like Ache could probably deal with both of them. Here comes the
Stand United coming in.
Shen ends up teleporting onto his AD carry. She's gonna get. Not stunned up though, is a nice riposte on the Fiora. Flash forward from EMP. Ache, he has cooldown reduction right now. He has that Black Cleaver, so he's able to spam his abilities, get out of dodge there, and walk away. So nice play there from Ache, forcing huge rotations and still surviving. That's what we have to see. That's what you want to see out of Fiora.
And there's just no reason why Ache should have been able to get out of that. I think it was just a huge misplay from Isra's Gaming. We saw EMP, or EMP rather, using the Culling in a very strange spot. Stand United came in and EMP tried to flash forward to get Shen a little bit closer, but I don't know if that was necessary. I think that maybe just getting Ache off the turret was enough, and then you run straight to Baron, try to get vision control around there, but they kind of chased for a little too far.
Caught up by the knockback from Yuri. He's going to be able to survive there, though. The follow-up CC isn't there from Nami. So close one there for Kindness, but he's going to be able to walk away. As we see the stretching strike lands onto 2 right here. The ultimate as well. Let's bounce. And the Elise falls back and the rest of the team. But Lucian's over the wall and he allows a spot for Kim to land on. Going to flash away. Here comes the elastic slingshot. Tull's getting very low. Down goes the Fiora in the bot lane as well. So Tull's and Ache going to fall here. That could mean Baron for Isras Gaming.
And Pride with a 1v1 bot side. Tull's just trying to get out of a really tricky situation, doing his best. QQ actually used his smite to heal up. I don't think it was spotted out, though. Furious Gaming didn't have vision. They could have contested that with a smite steal, but they just didn't know, so Clin wasn't able to move there fast enough. Plus, a Lucian Jhin just takes it so quickly.
Yeah, as the Deathfire touch is not going to be able to take down Yuri.
He took Warlords.
He took Warlords, okay. So I just assumed he took Deathfire, as that is a Jhin. We normally see him with that Deathfire. As he he's not quite in W range. I was going to say he could have maybe tried to look for that additional W there to pick off Yuri as Yuri's was standing on a ward, but he's not going to be able to find him. And so the Baron going over to Israel Gaming, this could set up that split push for the Shen that they need. And it looks like they're going to try to pressure down this tier 2 in the mid lane.
Yeah, the rotations around the map from Isurus have been a little behind, I would say, in the last 5 minutes. They did a good job going mid, then going top, and now they're jumping bot.
Yuri, the stretching straight onto 2, and Yuri's going to be slammed in the wall. Down he goes to Pride, so Furious Gaming ends up losing a member there. QQ Moore setting up a play for this Shen, and down goes the tier 2 in bot lane.
And another really good rotation from Isurus Gaming. I was just criticizing, saying they haven't been making them, but all it took, I guess, was a Baron to kind of figure out what they want to do. Lucian stays mid, gets a turret. The rest of the team goes bot, gets a kill in a turret. And now inhibitors are starting to fall. Isurus Gaming really opening up the map. This might be no, I guess it won't be a perfect game because they did lose 3 turrets. But they might not give up a single kill as they're looking to pressure the Nexus.
Yeah, here comes the redemption to heal up his team. Newbie going to keep his team very healthy here. The W going to lock down Tulls, though. Stranglethorns comes out. Zaya uses the Featherstorm to get away. Curtain Call not going to do much there as they zone away the rest of the team. They have Baron minions. Ache fighting in the bot lane here, or top lane here with Pride. Running out of mana, though. The Shen actually could look to fight this if he doesn't.
Oh.
Yeah, bad vital there for Pride. Ends up meaning he has to walk away from there.
But he is distracting Fiora. She used teleport to actually get onto that top side. Isn't able to get the turret for it. I believe they lost the Nexus turret, but I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, Nexus
yes, they
turret's
did lose the
down.
Nexus turret.
Yeah.
So again, advantage to Isurus Gaming. I think Achi made a horrible call there. He should have stayed with the team, tried to help them out. Giving up that Nexus turret is really bad for them as Isurus. They might not even need to rotate around the map like they are. They could just look to push the super minions in bot side with only 1 Nexus turret. It's not going to clear the waves that fast. It's not going to pressure a Zac that's tanking. And already Isurus are clearly winning the 5v5.
Yeah, Zaya having a lot of trouble clearing these super minions here. Shen is split pushing here in the mid lane. Here comes the Lucian, though, to aid him and maybe taking that inhibitor tower there. The rest of the members of Isurus Gaming in the top lane trying to push that one down. Super minions pushing in the bot. Zaya has to go deal with it right now. Stunned up is Shen, so nice riposte there from Ache, going to keep him safe. And as they look to siege down this inhibitor tower.
And Emp right now, just for an update, he is critting for 850 damage, and he has a 50% crit chance. So every other auto is 850 damage on the face of whoever it hits. And they don't have armor. Curtain Call pulled.
Zac Slingshot is down right now, so Curtain Call just uses his own. The Tidal Wave comes out to stop Kindless, but down goes the inhibitor tower. They're not going to be able to clear out the minions, so this is just an inevitability at this point. Isurus Gaming pushing in the top lane as well. This super minions massive wave pushing in the bot lane right here. And it looks like they're trying to make a play onto Ache.
Yeah, it's going to take a miracle for Furious Gaming to actually get out of this position and maybe turn the game around. I was talking about how their focus wasn't to win. Their focus was to get a kill, then get a wave, then get a turret. And they haven't gotten any of those things. They just keep losing around the map. And there's just nothing for them to fight for other than just waiting for Isurus to make a mistake.
Slingshot here from QQ Moore. Lands on top of 2. Here comes the stretching side. Slams them together. There's the Stranglefords. Down goes Zaya there. Ache on the backside trying to make a play on a Kindless, but he's not going to be able to find anyone. Kim getting fairly low there. He's going to get taunted up. Down he goes. Slingshot in. Forces the flash here from the Zaya. And that, a very nice flash taunt. Down goes the, Italia, and that's going to be game here for Isurus Gaming, picking up game 1. 15-0 is the score line right here, and Isurus Gaming showing why they went to MSI, why they are the strongest team in this region.
Yeah, really dominant performance, not giving up a kill, not giving up a dragon. They lost Rift Herald, which was a slight misplay. They gave up 3 turrets, which let's face it, it's hard to not give up turrets in a game of League of Legends when you're at the professional scene, but they were always able to get something more for anything that they lost, and that is what allowed Isurus Gaming to take game 1 in a really clean way.
Yeah, and speaking of this really clean way, if you're going to be giving out an MVP here, who are you giving it to?
Oh, that is an interesting question. I'd like to get a look at the stat lines before I answer that, because in my head, it's gonna be Emp. Just the ability to push in lane, but I feel like my heart that's my head telling me that, but my heart is telling me Zach QQ more. Being able to get the champion to begin with makes me want to give him MVP because somehow I want to credit him for that ability and not the
Credit
enemy
the
team
coach.
just completely failing. It's
Yeah,
like, good
credit the
job, you
coach.
got it, you got the Zach, and it's almost too easy at that point to receive MVP on Zach. I think he absolutely deserved it. He did such a good job affecting every single lane. He didn't even get the Lucian ahead early like we expected because Talia was playing so safe. But then as soon as he was tanky enough, they had bot lane to roam up. They did a 4-man mid, got that first turret, and that really opened it up all because of the Zach.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to QQ more as well too. Just played a nice job on that Zach, um, and I think his engages there really set it up. It was almost too. It's like I don't want to give it to QQ more because it's like, oh, that's just kind of Zach, man.
It's basically doing like, what was it, Contra, or what was the classic old like fighting game with the cheat that gave you 99 lives and everybody used it. It was like left, left, right, down, up, left, right, something like that. It's basically using that cheat, but in modern day League of Legends competitive.
Yeah, so that is going to be it for us, though, for a few minutes here. We are going to take a break. Game 2 of this matchup will be coming up here shortly. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Invincible.
Don't try this yourself. It's extremely dangerous.
Give me reasons to doubt, try to keep me down, but I'll put the flame out, you can't get to me. Throw your sticks and your stones, go break all of my bones, you won't ache my soul, you can't get to me. And there is no barricade that I can tear away. Shoot me down, but fire away, away. But I'm a heavyweight. I'm a heavyweight. I'm a heavyweight. I'm a push me down to the ground. What goes around comes around. You won't put the flame out, you can't get to me. Say what you wanna say, go take it all away. But I'm here to stay, no, you can't get to me. And there is no barricade that I can tear away. Shoot me down, but fire away, away. But I'm a heavyweight. I'm a heavyweight. I'm a heavyweight. I'm a heavyweight.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our final game of the night here in the CLS Week 2, Day 1. We have our matchup here between Isurus Gaming and Furious Gaming. Isurus picking up Game 1. We'll see if Furious Gaming are able to respond here, as they are on blue side this time. My name is Jay Force. I'm your play-by-play. Joined with me, of course, is Sir Buttkick, your color. And do you think Furious, what do they need to do to take Game 2 off of Isurus? Sorry here, I accidentally muted my co-caster, so I'm going to unmute him now. I do apologize.
Making all these jokes, nobody was laughing, I was so confused. It's okay, but we are back into this, and all I was going to say is Furious Gaming, what they need to do to win this is change their bans in specifically, but honestly, just being on blue side changes them by default, because Isurus are not making the same mistake. They're banning out Zach. Furious Gaming gave it up last game so foolishly.
J4 going to be banned here as well. Interesting to see that one banned out. It looks like Furious Gaming may want to early pick a tank top laner like the Shen, like the Gragas.
I think the signal is that they want the Galio, which makes sense. Isurus, just ban it out. And now, if Furious Gaming picks any other tank, Isurus might just pick the Fiora into it. Or they could just answer with a tank of their own. I think Furious Gaming, if they do want that clutch tank top lane, they got to go for the Shen right here, right now. But there's still other priority picks up, like the Elise, which is being hovered right now. I think that's a higher priority over the Shen at the moment.
Absolutely. The Elise so strong right now after all of the Lee Sin nerfs. And even though Elise is fairly decent into Lee Sin, just taking away the power of the second or the other top jungler just puts Elise in a tier of her own right now. But regardless of taking away the power of that Lee Sin, gonna be locked in here for Isurus Gaming.
It still provides a lot of utility to the team, as well as just consistent clear early, good DPS at earlier levels. Up about to level 11 is when he starts to trail off. Once most champions have 2 items, 3 items, that's especially when Lee Sin doesn't do as much damage, but at that point, he's just a pick bot. You land that Sonic Wave, there we go, I was right the first time. Sonic, I'm not the play-by-play caster this time, so I don't have to call them the right
ability names. It can go straight out the window.
I'm a color caster now. Yeah, exactly. So he lands that Sonic Wave. He's able to get onto the Elise, onto any squishy targets. And actually, we're seeing here, looks like Furious Gaming have hijacked Isurus Gaming's side. Okay, now it's back to both. Yeah, but now they're on opposite sides. What's going on?
Lucian's so good right now because he is that flex pick to the mid lane. And even the top lanes, we saw Huni pull it out a couple of days ago. But I like the combination here from QQ and Pride, the ninja combo, as you would call it. As you have the Shen and the Lee Sin.
Well, is Lee Sin a ninja or is he a monk? I think of him more as a monk. They got to get a Kali. They got to get Ken. If they had oh, that's game over.
Yeah, they just pick a Kali and Kennen. You send a Kali into the jungle, Kennen mid lane. Or you
Zed
carry.
top?
Yeah, Zed top. It'd be perfect. No, you have Zed mid, you have Kennen AD carry, a Kali jungle.
Yeah, and Teemo the best at stealth in the game. That's what ninjas are all about, right? But no, it's actually going to be the Syndra. Isurus Gaming showing both solo lanes in the first stage of pick and ban. They wanted Syndra so bad they didn't want it to be banned against them because that's exactly what Furious Gaming did last time. So even though Furious Gaming get an option to now counterpick Isurus Gaming, I assume that they're just going to ban out 2 mid laners. There's the Echo, maybe the Fizz next, maybe the LeBlanc.
Yeah, Fizz and LeBlanc are still on the table, and they both do decently well into that Syndra. You said the Rumble getting picked in here. It's not a strong lane anymore for a Rumble. Normally, you talk about that Rumble being able to bully out the Shen. It just doesn't happen anymore because of the new Dorn Shield. And basically, as long as Shen takes only 1 tick of the Flame Spitter, he actually gains health. But he does, because the Deathfire touch ticks don't nearly as much damage as the regen from the Dorn Shield. So all you have to do is take 1 tick of damage from the Rumble, walk away, and you're gaining health.
But think about how we mentioned last game, if you take an AD carry against the Shen top lane, he builds Sunfire Cape, he's impossible to kill. This time they take the AP carry into the Shen top lane, he's probably going to go for the Tiamat build first instead, meaning that he is more susceptible to roams from a mid Lucian going topside. I think that might be the strategy here, is have the Rumble, try to push him in, or maybe bait him out, and then try to go for roams from Lucian if it is a mid Lucian.
Yeah, of course. That's always that's actually the weakness of Shen into those AP matchups. You have to go for some type of magic resistance. It's not like you can fully skip out of MR and just rush your Titanic Hydra, because T-Mat in of itself, just sitting on a T-Mat's a pretty crap item for Shen in terms of his dueling potential. He doesn't have anything that scales off AD. The only thing he gets is the additional AD on his auto attacks, which isn't item efficient. It's not goal efficient for him. So he really wants to just really surge straight into that Titanic Hydra. So he skips out on a wave clear because he's probably going to go for Spectre's Cowls or Merc Treads first, then get the Titanic Hydra. But so it does limit his wave clear, which means his split push isn't as strong here in the mid game. Locked in is that Xayah as well as the Ezreal. As the AD carry pool was pinched. Braum getting taken as well, and I feel like that's got to be a scary bot lane to play into. A lot of potential CC from Prowdy and Tulls.
And Braum just a really good champion for stopping damage from two big threats, the Ezreal and the Syndra. Throwing up Unbreakable stops all of the ultimate out of Syndra, as well as True Shot Barrage, Mystic Shot, Essence Flux, all the damage coming in from
Shen
Ezreal.
support.
Oh! What? Alright.
What?
Throw the rulebook out the window. They've locked in the Fiora. I don't know if Easters realized they already picked their top lane, but it is, as you said, Shen going in the support position. I have not seen this in professional League of Legends since way back in Season 5.
Yeah, it's been forever since we've seen that. And I guess
When he
Shen's
was-
pretty good. Shen's pretty good against Braum. He stops the concussive blows with his
True.
Spirit Refuge.
When he was originally reworked, a lot of people tried him out in support. There was question, can it be played professionally? Is it a viable option on the bot side? And it was toyed around with, but since then, everybody's pretty much given up on that, saying, nope, it's garbage.
This has
It
to be
doesn't
something Israel's
actually
gamers
work.
practice against
Yeah,
Braum specifically.
It's got to be something that they, or maybe not even just against Braum, but maybe just something that they've been practicing overall, because the idea around the Shen support is he's not going to be as tanky, but he's a utility in kind of saving support in the same vein that a Shen, or a Tom Kench rather would be, or a Thresh, but he can do it across the map. If top lane is in a difficult situation, he throws Stand United and can save top lane. If mid lane is in a difficult situation, he can do the same. He doesn't have to only save the AD carry anymore at early stages of the game, which really allows him to stay in lane much longer, whereas usually a support like a Thresh or Tom Kench would want to roam around the map more.
Yes, it's really interesting to see this Shen here in the bot lane. You have the reverse, though, and it's going to be Pride taking that Fiora in the top lane up against the Rumbles. The two carries up there. This is Fiora favored. I expect her to still start that Dorn Shield because it's so efficient against the Rumble. But we could see some sparks flying up there in the top lane. It's no longer a wet noodle fight, so we normally see. So it's going to be interesting to see. We are getting onto the Rift, though.
It is pretty unique, again, from Easterus. What I like watching in this team is just how unique their take on League of Legends is compared to other teams. They said, look, we don't want to play Shen top lane. Let's just put him support, get an advantageous lane top. I would consider this an advantageous lane mid as well, because if Lucian jumps in on the Syndra post level 6, that's easier for Syndra to land her abilities, and she can just burst down to Lucian, and now bot side as well, being able to stop the concussive blows.
You're saying that missing your Q and then hitting your ultimate and killing the Lucian is easier than landing
I
abilities?
honestly think it is. Yep. You don't. I mean, she can just farm the wave as Lucian is auto attacking her. Just press R real quick, clean up that farm as well, and just keep farming. It's all farm for Syndra, right?
That Lucian is just a mobile caster minion. Sure.
Maybe a cannon. We'll give him
Maybe
a siege
he'll
minion
become the
status. If you let him hit you 3 times, you feel it, but in the end, he's just gold for you. In all seriousness, though, Emp will actually need to be a little more cognizant of this mid lane because he took the cleanse instead of something like an exhaust or barrier. Lucian will be doing a lot of damage to the Syndra in the 1v1. Taking the cleanse is a clear answer to the Elise ganks. Maybe an answer to late concussive blows or to Prodigy's root, but I think it's mostly going to be an anti-Elise summoner spell, which is a lot of respect being paid over to Kitten.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, Elise puts out so much more pressure than every other jungler that you gain such an advantage there that itemizing against her with that summoner.
And it was a good idea from Newbie going for that taunt, but it wasn't Prodi tanking turret, it was Tolls. The way that Fierce Gaming was able to juggle that turret aggro was nothing short of beautiful. And they also pulled Pride's teleport.
Ache had a free setup. This is actually quite bad for Ache right here. He ended up missing a lot of experience. I expect this Rumble to be hitting level 5 way earlier than the Fiora, as well as level 6. So, I mean, it's not the
he just
worst
didn't
thing
push
in
the
world.
wave in.
He didn't push it in, but he held the freeze.
He does
Pride
have
was,
wave
Pride
advantage.
was losing minions to the freeze.
True.
Yeah, I mean,
so maybe it will turn around.
Difference, but I think the freeze there was actually more advantageous than shoving it in.
Yeah, it's always a question when you're in a solo lane as well as bot lane. What do you do with the waves? Wave management is a huge part in professional league.
The Lee Sin in the jungle there, but Newbie is there to protect his jungler. The rest of the team going to be showing up Tulls as well. So no kills going to be traded there. Neither summoner spells, but a very low Lee Sin.
Yeah, and a really good roam from both supports. Pretty good planning ahead there. Newbie and Tolls both spot out potential. They both back, they both head mid, and then walk down to bottom side. But talking about just pure combat stats right now, Parati has a pretty big advantage in the lane as Kindness goes for that tier. This is the moment of the game where, as the Xayah, I mean, you're already going to scale very well to the late game, but you're really strong to action top lane, though.
Yeah, Pride getting very low. They're not respecting the Flame Spitter damage. Got a pretty poor set of vitals there that forced him to dance around the Rumble for too long. He got a second cooldown of that Flame Spitter, and that...
Yukimura is topside, though.
Yeah, Yukimura in that topside right now. Ache is not very low right now. He could maybe look to 2v1. He has the Equalizer available to him, and that's going to send Yukimura back into his jungle as the Rumble hit level 6 way earlier than this Fiora. As the Fiora going to get slowed up, he's overheating, so he doesn't have the Equalizer available to him. Ache can look to try to take down the Fiora under tower. Gonna start burning her, and down she goes. Kyukyo in trouble too. He needs the Flame Spitter cooldown back up. He's overheating, gonna flash forward. Kyukyo is burning a little bit, but a good rotation over from EMP is going to take down this Rumble, as he did not have a way out. He flashed under tower and he ends up falling, but that's going to allow Furious Gaming to take this dragon for free.
And Achi got level 6 at the perfect time. Kyukimura already invested so much time to go in topside. He didn't just show up there on happenstance. He decided to go and path that direction so that he could help out Pride. But as soon as he gets up there, Achi hits level 6, and you got to make a decision. Back off. He already committed so much time that I think this was Kyukimura saying, like, I got to make something happen. Otherwise, this was a huge waste of my jungle pathing time. And it just does not work out for them. Furious Gaming get the dragon. They might get this blue buff. They will back off, though.
Yeah, I'm going to say, though, that I called the freeze being worth. So, I'm just throwing that out there.
I'll eat my words. I'm a play-by-play caster. At least I used to be. Let me get used to my position as color commentator. I'm not quite at the level of understanding wave clear and wave rotation.
Yeah, I do main top lane. It's what I do. So
like I said when you muted me earlier, I am Lindsay Lohan and you are Jamie Lee Curtis in Freaky Friday right now. We got to get used to each other's bodies.
Right.
Get used to how we work, and then everything will be good.
Bodies, dude. It's all right.
Yeah, you know what? We just got to open those little fortune cookies, let the transfer complete, and then just get on with our lives.
As we are seeing very defensive itemization here from the Lucian, going for that head drinker early because he understands that what the Syndra does is she just misses all of her abilities and just ults him and he dies. So he's going to pick up that Hex Drinker as he eats a lot of his health there. He has blue buff though. He'll be able to sustain with the mana. I'm gonna walk away from that one as we are seeing a 500 gold lead, not the biggest, but we do have a Fed Rumble up there in the top lane with a huge advantage over Fiora. QQ more going to find Yuri in the jungle.
And a good side step from Yuri. This is the point of the game where Syndra's really not afraid of Lucian anymore. Pre-level 6, Lucian can really pressure the Syndra in lane. But once Syndra hits level 6, especially now being level 8, she just has too much AP, too much damage. Again, just popping R should kill the Lucian if he gets aggressive.
Here in the top lane. Ache going to get slowed up by the Syndra as well as stunned. Here comes the
Equalizer available.
Equalizer's there, but Pride healing up. He gets the shields from Lee Sin. Going to walk away. The Unleashed power did a lot of damage onto this Rumble. It's just going to get cleaned up there by the Syndra. And that's going to be a 2-0 Syndra right now. Pretty scary stuff. As Isris Gaming finding their way to come back in this game, take the gold lead for themselves.
Yeah, Emp is going for that Morellonomicon first build, but look at this. Before he even gets that, he's got Sorcerer's Boots already, trying to deal with that MR from Yuri, so Yuri might not be able to survive in lane anymore. He's down 2 kills, about even in CS, and yeah, that blue buff was helping him before, but it's just not there anymore. And this is Emp really carrying the team on his back. We saw Furious Gaming getting an early advantage, but they've clearly lost it at this stage in the game.
Yeah, they're down. It's pretty even right now in gold. You have the advantages here are in the top lane. Rumble's fairly far ahead of this Fiora. In the mid lane, you have an advantage towards that Syndra for EMP. Lee slightly ahead of the Lee Sin, but at this point, it's gonna be mattering a little bit less and less as both these junglers sort of fall off in the mid game. But I do want to warn our fans out there, all the people watching, we have a cat inbound on top of my brick once again. So if the stream goes dead, it's likely because you pressed that power button.
Small cat.
Small cat, what are you doing, buddy?
He's back.
Small cat.
And who else is back here is Furious Gaming. They might have lost their lead, but hey, they still have Dragon, and they still have yet to lose first turret. It's rare that you say good job to a team for not losing the first turret as opposed to saying congratulations on getting the first turret. Playing against a Fiora, who is that split push pressure, as well as the Ezreal that can really push in these waves. Furious Gaming is doing a good job of actually pressuring bot side. I think a lot of that has to do with the Shen support. He hasn't really shown up big in the way that I expected to because no plays have happened. He's reached level 6.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, like you said, he just hit level 6. Has that Stand United available to him, which really would help out Yuri in this mid lane. I feel like with that Hex Drinker and the Stand United. Oh, what am I saying? Doesn't play with Lucian. Yeah. Oh, so there goes that point out the window.
Maybe the most troll champion. You can give your opponent a shield and then teleport onto them as first turret goes down bot side.
First they're going over to this Xayah and
this might be the best Compete League cast of all time. I think I'm calling it right now. Absolutely the most researched. I feel the most prepared I have in my life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm casting my natural position. Is it position?
Oh, role,
natural casting job role. There we go. That's good.
Along those lines.
Yeah.
As that first turret blood gives Furious Gaming about a 1,000 gold lead. The bot lane of Pradi and Tull is going to be accumulating most of that gold. So Furious Gaming faring a lot better this game as opposed to the last one. And they are really showing their stuff and why they were third place in the last split. And I believe one of our casters predicted a 1-1. The only person to do that. So we'll see if that prediction going to be coming true.
Yeah, Easters Gaming it's still, again, this is week 2, but Easters Gaming already 2-0-0. That means 2 wins, 0 losses, 0 ties. This might be their first kind of smudge on their record. Yeah, it's not a loss, but it does mean that they lost a game, which is fairly big when it is a best-of-2 format. It means that the Giants have fallen, and they're not going to actually continue their dominant streak in this league. And if any team's going to do it, I believe in Furious Gaming. They've had a slow start with 1 loss and 1 tie, but that doesn't mean that they're a bad team. They've just had some bad games played, and I definitely believe that they have what it takes to turn this around and actually take
Ezreal gonna
Easters
get
Gaming.
rooted up. Here comes the Stand United, though, saving his AD carry. Xayah still trying to output the DPS. Not going to find it, though. Is the Ezreal forced away down his summoner heal. They send 3 men top right now, trying to zone off the members of Isris Gaming from this turret. Taunt gonna miss though, and that's gonna send Furious Gaming back as the Ezreal continues to farm up that last bit of the wave. Ache and Pride duking it out there in the bot lane as the The dragon available to both these teams is that Windrake, so I'm not prioritizing that as much, and that's going to mean that the top laners are going to be sent bot.
And this is what is good about the Shen support. Some fighting over the Rift Scuttle as well as Vision Control.
Cocoon is that Lee Sin forced to flash over the well as the Lee didn't repel down in time. Flash forward. He's going to find him with the culling. So Yuri with the plays. Here comes Braum to save his mid laner, and out walks Yuri. Stunned up is that Braum, though, is full health. He's going to be all right. The Rift Herald started here by Furious Gaming. EMP looking to output a little bit of poke there. Not going to find it right now. Cocoon going to land
from
on
Achi.
this Ezreal, but Ache on the backside. Here comes the equalizer, splitting up the team. Not the best equalizer, though. Ache still on the backside of the burning down Kindless. Here comes the Glacial Fissure. Down he goes, so at least picking up that one. Furious Gaming, rather, looking strong at taking this this Rift Herald.
And teleport not answered by Pride. He's still bot side, but he's not able to get the turret. What was that call from Isurus Gaming? If Pride had just answered the teleport as soon as Achi channeled it, I think that they might have been able to turn that around. He had wards to jump on.
I don't think they knew Achi was there, so I don't know if he was able to pick it as Elise takes the Rift Herald. EMP gonna pick up that kill, and burning down is that Syndra or the Rumble outputting a lot of DPS with that pen build right now. QQ Moore taking another kill to his name, so Furious Gaming taking down 2 as well as the Rift Herald. I believe that was the Rumble that picked it up. He could use it here if he would like to, but I think they could still take it. No, he's gonna spawn the Rift Herald. They're gonna maybe try to take 2 towers right now as Ache still on the bot side, or Pride still on the bot side of the map, trying to take down the tier 2.
And back to that teleport play, you don't expect an average solo queue player to notice something like that, a teleport coming on the back line, but you should have the expectation. You should hope that a professional League of Legends team in a major region, even though, yes, they're not, maybe not a major region, but they are a good region. They made it to MSI, especially this team, Isurus Gaming. They should have been able to see this play coming. I mean, they're so tunnel visioned onto this Rift Herald, and yeah, they stopped the initial take, and here it is finally taken. This is a replay actually of Emp's kill. I think QQ Moore should have just backed off. He went in to save Emp, couldn't get it, dies himself in the meantime. But again, those teleports, you can still see them coming in even if you don't have a ward on them. It's just a little darkened, and it's where's the shot calling from Isurus Gaming
to see the teleport now.
But they were in that range. They were around the Rift Herald pit. I think that they were just tunnel visioned on the enemy team, didn't notice it coming in, and they pay the price.
Yeah, and that's I mean, it's Furious Gaming jumping out to even bigger lead right now. They're going to take down the Windrake as well. They have an Infernal to their name as well as this win. So, sitting with 2 dragons right now, up 3 kills, about 2,500 gold as well. So, Furious Gaming look look really in the driver's seat right now, and that's exactly where they want to be with this snowballing Lucian mid, as we are seeing the equalizer burning down the Syndra. A lot of damage coming out from Ache. Kingdom going to pick that one up, though. Last hitting him as the top laner tells his jungler that he's stealing his kills. And it looks like they'll take this mid lane tier 1.
Yeah, this is Furious Gaming. I mean, Emp almost got that kill onto Prati with just, again, that unleashed power, but it wasn't quite enough. Maybe pressing R doesn't guarantee a kill. we were a little wrong in our calculations.
Yeah, I think he's taking the wrong runes. I think it...
Yeah, that was clearly just a misplay in itemization. His mechanics were on point. He didn't make a single mistake controlling the champion. But it also banned out Newbie Stand United. He was trying to channel that to save Emp in the mid lane. So now Shen's ultimate is down for a little while. This really opens up the map for Furious Gaming. Because again, going back to my point earlier of what Shen support does, it essentially is a Tom Kench devour across the map. It's not as good necessarily, because really it just does is shield you up, but it does carry the Shen into the team fight. And we saw it used perfectly on the top side when Kindless was getting picked off under turret, but it just didn't save Emp in the mid lane, and it really does fall off the later the game goes, because members of Furious Gaming are able to just burst down Isurus.
Yeah, and the strength of that Shen in the late game is his ability to split push and have 2 globals, as well as a much better global than teleport in his ultimate. And you're not going to have your Shen support split pushing.
No, not at all. And look at this gold advantage, specifically on the bot side. Prodi, 7,300 gold. Kindless, 5,000. Just 6,000 now. A full BF sword behind his lane opponent. That's the biggest gold difference in the game. And that's pretty significant when it comes to the AD carry role, which is so crucial in this current meta.
Especially in the mid game here, too, where Ezreal wants to start hitting his power spikes. If Ezreal gets ahead around this 20-minute mark, he'll have his Triforce, he'll have his tier. And that's when he really starts putting out a lot of damage. It's his mid-game that's so strong for Ezreal. He's just falling behind right now. And I really question the pick, actually, of this Ezreal. He's not very meta right now. His build path is much worse than all the other AD carries because he doesn't itemize into, either Essence Reaver, basically, or Blade of the Rune King, which is what you're seeing out of most AD carries first right now, except for the Caitlyn going for that, that ice, the Infinity Edge into Runon's Hurricane type deal.
Or
But,
Twitch, getting that Frozen Mallet.
The Frozen Mallet first time
If
on
you're
Twitch,
reckless. If you're reckless.
Yeah, of course. Who wouldn't build a Frozen Mallet on Twitch first item? Honestly, as we are seeing the Fiora trying to take down Ache here in the top lane. Not going to find anything, though, as he takes a lot of damage in return for that as well. Ache he hurts. He hurts, I'll tell you.
Yeah, especially with that Deathfire touch. He hurts over time. You take one little ability from him, yeah, you got the Door and Shield, but it is the late game now. You're dealing with the Leandri's Torment and the Deathfire touch. Rumble really thrives off of that, and it's so hard to push in a Rumble in lane. We see that Pride's trying to go for the split push, but the Fiora into the Rumble, you just can't deal with this.
Challenge as well as the Equalizer, though. The Riposte not going to find that last Vital. The Elise is in the area, though. Stand United for the Fiora. She's going to take down the Rumble. She's looking to make a play onto the Elise right now. Repel going to be used. And here comes Prodi, though. Fiora still trying to find it. He has a good Vital, but it's going to get CC'd as well as the Exhaust. He's not going to be able to find it. Newbie, he dashes away from that Glacial Fissure. The going to get caught up by the Cocoon as well. Gonna flash over the wall, gonna keep him alive. In the mid lane, though, Ezreal and Syndra are trying to take this tier 1.
Yeah, and a really good play from Easter's Gaming. That was really Pride just showing what Fiora can do. The sustain was ridiculous. The damage was ridiculous. Picks up 2 kills off of that. Does go down in the end. But really, actually, rather just the 1 kill. But is able to actually answer it, even though it was technically a 1v3 at the end. This Fiora can just do dirty, dirty things in these late stages of the game.
Real raunchy stuff there, I'll tell you, Sir.
That's some X-rated stuff.
Yeah,
not for
should
kids.
Be showing here to the kids.
This is not PG. How dare Compete League not have a disclosure at the beginning of their videos?
Yeah. What is? I'll tell you, we have the most professional broadcasts out there, but our rating system is a little skewed right now. So
you know what? Sometimes we drop the ball. We can't be professional 100% of the time.
Absolutely.
We try.
As the next dragon going to be spawning here in a few moments. Furious Gaining setting that one up. They have the pink ward on the dragon as well as taking that scuttler. So just placing that ward line. I cannot see exactly what dragon is going to be spawning here. On the top left of your screen, it'll look like the Infernal, but that thing lies to you. So
True. It's been lying to us since what? Patch 7.1, I think it was.
Yeah.
Dirty, dirty patch. Turrets falling, though. Furious Gaming opening up the map. It's 4 turrets to 1, 2 drags to 0, 8 kills to 4. And they are definitely in the driver's seat looking to take this next one. It's going to be that Windrake. Their rotations are going to be even stronger. They don't really have the pick composition that thrives off of a Windrake, but they do have the Elise who can get benefit from that extra movement speed affecting other areas on the map. And actually, she went Ninja Tabby. A lot of Elise go for that mobility boots right away just so that they can actually farm around quicker because they move quicker. But this is essentially the same, and she has the tank stats from Ninja Tabi, keeping her safe against the Fiora, against the Ezreal.
Yeah, she's going for a very tanky Elise build, which I do like considering they don't have a real tank. They have a pseudo tank in that Braum. Rumble can be a faux tank.
Oh, initiation.
More isn't going to be able to get taken down there, but a very nice play from that Braum and the Xayah going to get him very, very low. One thing I would like to mention though is once again we are seeing that double 80 carry comp. You have an 80 carry in the mid lane, 80 carry in the bot lane, and Isris Gaming is down right now, and they're the ones playing against the double 80 carries as the roles reverse. Is there something they can do or something they can look to towards that late game?
Wait, you're asking, is there something Isris can do?
Yes, rather. If I did say that.
No, I wasn't sure. I was looking at just Lucian's beautiful mechanics. He's just a fun champion to watch.
Hey, absolutely. I have to say is Lucian looks so clean to watch, and he feels clean to watch. Almost any 80 carry main will say that their favorite 80 carry is Lucian.
Oh, yeah. Lucian metas are maybe some of the most fun. Outside of Kalista, I really enjoy watching Kalista played at the professional level. But to answer your question, how does Aether's get back into this? They go back to what their composition is strong at, and that's letting Fiora split push and actually do it well. You draw Achi back into the team. You go for Baron baits. You go for fights that force teleports out of Rumble as Fiora stays in lane, keeps pushing down turrets. But as soon as you make those plays, Easters has to back off. They can't go for the 4v5. They're going to lose it. They got to bait out the teleport, get out of here, but Pride's getting caught out.
Pride going to use the grand challenge onto Yuri. Going to riposte. Not going to be able to find anything. The Stand United was there for his teammate, but he's still going to end up dropping. Newbie will be the next one to follow. So the Fiora not quite strong enough to deal with this Lucian right now, who is oh so strong. Has that Blade of the Rune King as well as the Hex Drinker and that Phage, keeping him safe. And that was what I was looking to happen, is I wanted to see the Stand United onto Fiora 2v1 them, and it didn't happen. So this is actually looking, to me, very scary for Isris Gaming.
Yeah, I honestly don't think that they have much chance. When I said that that's what they need to do, I meant that ideally that's what they can pull off. I just don't see them actually being able to win a 5v5. I don't think that they can land a pick unless they just go for some kind of cheesy death brush. But Furious Gaming have been playing fairly safe, fairly slow and patient, and I just don't see them falling for a trick like that. They're warding up Baron. They're trying to get vision control around here.
0-1-1. They did go to the finals last split. They had a very good macro game in their series. Their two series wins before Isris Gaming. So it's not like Isris Gaming is going to just be able to out-rotate them like to an extreme extent where they can come back from a huge deficit like this. Like we saw last game, Isris Gaming was out-rotating Furious Gaming, and that's all well and good, but they're not going to be able to out-rotate him to the extent to take this W, as Furious Gaming have started the Baron. They're two-manning it right now, but there is a ward in the back of the pit that the pink hasn't spotted. So Furious Gaming not going to be able to take that one. They have 3 dragons, though. It could be a win condition to look for, as QQ Moore is killed up by the Redemption. Going to be able to live as the Braum going to get stunned up by, or the Shen going to get stunned up by the Cocoon. EMP going to cleanse there. There's the Equalizer, trapping EMP. And he's going to fall as a result. Kindless trying to kite this one out, but he's in trouble. Side. He picks up a kill, though, on the bot side of the map, though. Fiora takes down that tier 2, looking for that inhibitor tower. This could be the macro play that Isris Gaming needed. So it looks like Pride will be able to take the inhibitor tower, but he's not going to be able to take the inhibitor as Lucian has rotated down. Inhibitor tower not actually going to fall, so that's going to regen as well, too. They're not going to be able to find that, and looks like on the other side of the map, Tulls and Prodigy split pushing for that inhibitor tower. The Fiora only one alive who can deal with them. If Newbie's the only one going to be staying, they could even maybe look for the inhibitor. Spawns are coming up in a few seconds here, though. So inhibitor tower going to fall on the top side of the map.
This is horrible macro play from Isris Gaming. It started off really well. I was about to applaud them, saying really good pressure from Fiora, not matching the roam from Achi, just staying bot side, going for that turret, but she should have teleported at the end there. She still has it up, which means they might be able to make a play. Here's actually that initiation. The Sonic Wave just lands onto Yuri, and he actually gets himself into a position to be kicked by Kyukimor, but they do turn it around. Newbie, the Cocoon lands, the concussive blow lands, as well as Glacial Fissure. The chain CC means that Newbie's forced to just limp away. He's so low, he can't play that shield for his team. A really good Equalizer catches out Emp, and then it's just a cleanup. I'm actually surprised that Kindless was able to pick up a kill on the backside of that, as if he hadn't, that would have been catastrophic failure for the side of Easteris. But hey, at least they get 1 for it. They get that bot turret, but they give up the top inhibitor turret. Pride, you have teleport, make something happen with it, but he might get caught up outside now.
One thing I would like, is we are seeing Pride getting caught out here. He has cooldown reduction right now. He has that Triforce. Was
He has teleport.
Yeah, he has.
There's no CC.
Yeah, and he's just gonna keep pushing the waves right now, and it looks like they're just gonna send a Lucian away because they realize they're not gonna catch him if he wants to run away.
And they're giving up Baron. They're giving up Baron control. If they chase that, if they had they had continued pushing, it would have just invited Easter's Gaming to go for the Baron right away.
Yeah, so they're gonna back off. And one thing that I was gonna bring up is the Triforce on Fiora. So this Fiora realizes that she can 1v1 almost anyone right now. She can 1v1 anyone right now. Isn't opting in for that Black Cleaver because there isn't really many tanks on the side of Furious Gaming, and so he's going for that Triforce. You see it a lot in solo queue. It's not great. Black Cleaver tends to be the better duelist item, but Triforce is going to allow her to take towers because of the Sheen proc. So Pride just going to go full split push mode the rest of the game.
Pride does not see this dragon being taken. He might have been able to contest, but Furious Gaming do pick up their second Infernal Drake of the game. I repeat, that's 2 Infernal Drakes. The most height that you can see. An extra 16% damage across all members. And look at this. They have 4 carries on their team. This is the composition that you want Infernal Drakes on for Furious Gaming.
Yeah, Furious Gaming have 2 wins. They have 2 Infernals, so they're going to be able to put themselves into preferential team fights, and they're going to do it with additional AP and AD. They're already up 5k gold, 6k gold right now, and they have more towers. So, yeah, that's really, really not good. What we professionals like to call in the business, not good for Furious Gaming.
Yeah, it's a very technical professional term. Not many just average viewers would understand what it means, but essentially it means that Easters is screwed as Pride getting caught out.
Yeah, it doesn't have quite enough lifesteal to be able to stay alive there. Is EMP going to be caught out as well? So 2 kills on the map going for Furious Gaming. That could mean that they take the top side inhibitor. The backs are coming out from the Ezreal and Lucian, but the Rumble has teleport to enter the team fight. Lucian trying to get there as well. They are going for this inhibitor turret and the mid lane, so it looks like this is going to be an easy 2 inhibitor cleanup. They'll take the mid lane, rotate over top, take the top lane, and that's that is going to make things, what we like to call in the business, even worse. Gaming.
An even more technical term. But look at this. There's 2 members down for another 15 seconds. I honestly think that Furious Gaming could make a play around Baron here. They're all fairly healthy. They have a decent amount of mana, and every single player has an ultimate except for Tolls, which is a good zoning tool, but this is a clear Baron play. They go straight for it. Teleport is up for Pride, but he just doesn't have a ward to teleport onto. Maybe that top control ward, but there's just no contest.
Yeah, this Baron going to be falling, so Furious Gaming picking that one up. Equalizer comes up, QQ more. Going to use that Sonic Wave onto the Raptors to get himself out, but he got scary low. And that Rumble just does so much damage. It's one of the things about Rumble, not even fed, like insanely fed right now. It just has that Void Staff and the Leandre is able to just shred people, burn them on that barbecue.
I like that. It's a barbecue. It's not Korean barbecue. It's Latin American barbecue. They do it differently.
Oh,
they do it spicy.
I have a Peruvian uncle actually married into the family. I'm not Peruvian myself, but his barbecue is actually incredible.
Yeah.
They have great barbecue down there. That's not even a meme.
All right. Well, I know where I'm doing my summer vacation now.
Yeah, just go to Peru, man.
Oh, I was gonna come hang out with your uncle.
Oh, come out with my uncle. Yeah, Hans is a great guy, I'll tell you.
That might just be the best name that you could have given for him as well. I was gonna come up with something like I don't know, like Steve or Kevin, but no, Hans. There we go. That's a name. Bottom turret being siege by the side of Furious Gaming.
Yeah, only siege down. Tier 2
only the best.
Fell there a moment ago. You're still split pushing in the top lane. And this is when your solo queuers are going to get pissed off at their top laner for not grouping with the team, but it's not much the Fiora could do in a team fight even if she wanted to. So they're going to siege there. There comes the teleport for that last desperate play. And it looks like the Shen going to get popped like a balloon. Pride almost going to follow. A kill over onto Lee Sin. Fiora actually burns down. Here comes the Rumble. And he burns down the last kill, double kill over to that Xayah. That's going to be the game. They have Baron. The Ezreal is the only one that ended up surviving that one. And Furious Gaming going to tie up that series. So Furious Gaming, the giants of the CLS, going 1-1 against Furious. And this just shows how strong Furious Gaming is, despite the fact that it was a little bit of a rocky start. And if you are going to give out an MVP here, who are you giving it to?
Yeah, Furious Gaming proving the Giants can fall, giving Easters their first game loss. Still, it was a tie. So, Easters Gaming in a very good position, even though it is just week 2. You asked me who my MVP of this game would be, and it's a really difficult call to make. Like to the Rumble equalizers, they were placed very effectively, but I also agree Zaya was utilized to the best use. Braum was a really unique pick. It's hard. It's hard to give a player of the game. I'm a support main. I think I might just give it to Tolls. That Braum was able to just really shut down the Shen, even though we expected the Shen to kind of be able to turn it around on the bot lane, but proving that just a normal support is better than something a little surprising. And his Glacial Fissures were used so well around objectives, controlling where Easterus could actually engage from is basically a second equalizer, but not as crucial to land in an effective way, but he still was using it great. So I'm going to give it to Tolls, but I am incredibly biased as a support main, so I'll leave you to make the final decision.
All right, so being an incredibly biased top lane main.
Oh, give it to me.
All right, I think the equalizers were great, so I'm going to have to give it to Ache here. I think he had a really, really rough game 1. He ended up getting caught a lot there in the late game, and I think that he really redeemed himself on this Rumble. He played pretty well. He had a really aggressive play there in the top lane where he ended up 2v1ing, almost picking up 2 kills, but the Syndra roam over ended up stopping any hopes of that. And I think that in the late game, he really just did a lot of damage. His equalizers were good. He zoned away certain key targets, or he trapped them, like we saw on EMP there in the mid game near that top lane tier 2. And so for me, it's going to be Ache on this Rumble.
All right. I don't think we gave it to the same person once.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. Actually, wait. I'm trying to remember.
Game 1, we gave it to... Oh, boy.
I gave it to the jungler, correct?
Yeah, you gave it to... Elise?
No, I gave it to the Zac.
Oh, to Zach. Yeah, we both agreed on Zach.
Okay, there we go. We agreed on one of them, thank God.
But that is going to be it for us, though, for tonight. So Butt Kick is... we casted 3 games together, ended up picking up that other game, saving the stream there as poor old Primus was laid out to dry. But that is going to be it for us as Isurus Gaming and Furious Gaming tie in a 1-1 split. I was J-Force. I was your color and then play-by-play. Joined with me was Sir Butt Kick, your play-by-play, then color.
We should do this more often. Just keep the fans confused and titillated. There we go. That's the word. I think
we promise to keep you titillated, our fans. As that isn't going to be it for us, though. Have a great night, guys, and don't forget to tune in. Every week we have the CLS casting at the same time. We have CB Law.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, we have it tomorrow night, same time.
DLS. Both of us casting.
Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern, I believe, is when it starts, or maybe 6 p.m.
Well, I'm casting at 7, or 8, because of the production value of the CLS. Let's call it that.
8 o'clock with the height, the quotation marks or whatever. As it may actually be 9 p.m.
Exactly.
This has been the longest outro I've ever experienced, so I'm just gonna say goodnight, guys, and tune in tomorrow.